Have you ever wondered about how to deal with thousands or even millions of records in Laravel without running out of memory issues? In this video, we will learn how to deal with large dataset in Laravel. What are the available methods that we have to deal with large dataset? Let's learn about each with example. First, we have chunk. So how chunk works, trying to process large amount of record. And when you perform get on that record, you will have issue with memory. If you have low memory, then all the memory will be consumed by that particular actions only. Then there is a simple option of chunking, where you can fetch fetch however number of record that you mention here. Let's say 1000 records at once. You'll get let's say if you have 10,000 users, then in first batch you'll get 1000 records and you'll process in that record whatever you want to do with all those 1000 record. After you perform that operation, then it will move up to next set of 1000 record until all the 10,000 users are processed. That's how it works. This is all about chunk, and there is one slight variation of chunk, like chunk by ID. So the difference between chunk and chunk by ID is only that if you are making update to method, update to column, let's say you are getting user status inactive, and inside here you are doing status active, all right, then there will be a problem, because after 1000 records are processed, then you are going to fetch another set of 1000 records. While you are fetching that, you have made already status inactive to active, then another query will be running, which will give us unexpected result, because the status you have made active, then you are fetching another 1000 record, then there will be some record might be missed, or some record might be processed 2 times. All right, so that is when you use chunk by ID, which will save the last processed ID, and then in next batch you'll get ID greater than that. That is the slightly thing that you need to keep in mind while using chunk by ID. Now let's move to cursor method. So the difference between chunk and cursor is that, so there are 2 things that separates keeps db connection open. All right, so how this works is, whenever you run a cursor method on it, it will stream all the records. Let's say, so if you know how generators work, they will stream set of data one by one, so it won't make much queries, it will make only one query, and then you will get all the data in real time from database. During these operations, if anything changes on orders table, then it will give us the fresh data, new data. Whatever has been changed will be reflected inside this for each. Whereas in case of chunk, you won't get that, because let's say in first batch you fetch all the 1000 records, and then you are processing in that 1000, because those 1000 records that you fetch are now stored in memory, and then from memory it is processing all these. All right, whereas in case of cursor, it has database connection open, which it can directly get the fresh data from database, whereas it won't make new queries inside here. If you are just displaying name and things like that, it won't make a new query for each of the item inside it. So if your requirement is like that, the real use case is CSV export. You need to export fresh data while this operation is getting performed. If in concurrently another process is getting executed, then the data might change. All right, in this case data might change. So after fetching this record, another data and the set of data you want to fetch, but meanwhile some data will be changed, then there will be inconsistencies, whereas in this case there won't. However, the downside is, if you are performing any time consuming task inside it, it might get timeout issues, because it keeps database connection open, which gives little bit load in database. So it's best to perform like task that will be performing that will be quick to perform. um, the recommended thing that you want to do with cursor is just to read data, log something, export something. Only read operation is suitable inside cursor. Now let's move on to lazy method. The lazy is just a combination of chunk and cursor. All right, I will show you I will show you a comparison table where it will be really clear. So in lazy method, the good thing is you can it has good syntax, like you can call lazy here and then you can chain any collection methods because it will return lazy collection. If you compare to chunk, you have all the 1000 record, then you need to do it inside for each whatever you want to do, batching of the task. Whereas lazy, let's say you want to get first user where the order count is greater than 5. All right, then you can call first method, and if this condition true, it no longer processes other data. Whereas in case of chunk, if first set of 1000 in one batch 1000 records are processed, then it will keep processing until all the records are exhausted. Alright, whereas in case of lazy, you just get the data you want by making less load on database with this lazy 1000 record. Whereas batching 1000 records at once to say save some time, these 1000 records will be loaded in memory. However, it has little bit more memory footprint than cursor method. So this is the use case of lazy. Hope it makes sense. This example makes it really clear. All right, I will show you one cool blog where the benchmarks and this table, which makes it really clear if there is any confusion remaining. Let's see this table. So while performing get and chunk, while using these two, you can eager load relationship in eloquent model, whereas for cursor and lazy you cannot, because we are in constant in sync with database connection. So eager loading, there won't be eager loading because we are processing records one by one. That's what cursor method is for. Whereas if you see this concurrent shape, meaning concurrency is only supported in cursor and get. So concurrency is same thing that I told you earlier. Meanwhile, any data changes while you are performing, while you are iterating, then those changes won't reflect in case of chunk and lazy, because they fetch and save it on memory. All right. So if you see benchmarks, the memory consumption in case of this amount of record, you can see here highest get, and then cursor also consumes memory, then lazy. So lowest is chunk. So I will put the link of this down below so that you can see yourself. Yeah, hope you like this video, you learned something out of this video. I'll see you on another video. Bye.